Yeah, I was a little surprised of the lack of response by Chris Rock. Initially I thought it was a punch. I didn't know it was a slap because you couldn't see how it from the angle. I only saw it from one angle,
Right.
so I thought he punched him initially, and I was saying, man, Will don't hit that hard.
Well, for me, I think a slap is more disrespectful than a punch. A man slapping you,
Yeah.
man, that's some disrespectful shit right there. I mean, that's almost like spitting on me. I mean, them two things that, as a man, don't spit on me, don't slap. If you whoop my ass, you just whoop my ass, but don't slap me. I mean, goddamn, that's.
I feel like the slap though from Will Smith is a way of saying I want to hit you, but I don't want to hit you that hard.
I've just got mixed emotion, not mixed emotion, but I got just mixed opinions on it, just based on you laughed, bro. You know what I mean? You laughed. I just believe you could have said from what you said down there, keep my wife's name out your mouth. You could have said that the same 2 times you said it as aggressively as you said it, and the picture would have got. I think the picture would have got through. I think it's gonna hurt Will. I mean, he got hundreds of $1,000,000. I mean, it's not gonna hurt his pockets, but I believe at some point, it's gonna be some backlash for him.
Well, my question is like, what type of influence does Jada Pinkett have over Will for him to go from laughing at the joke to all of a sudden I'm about to go up here and smack the dude who did the joke?
Right, no doubt. I thought of that too, but I also saw that after he smacked him for a second, Chris Rock kind of looked up in the air like he was contemplating. And it just almost, I'm assuming that it seemed like he was contemplating, do you know what I could say right now? You know what I mean? I could annihilate you, verbally right now, and chose not to, but I'm just saying it just for a minute he stopped and looked and he almost was like, I'm gonna take the high road, you know what I mean? But he could have laid it on his ass.
I mean, he could have went there with the August Alsina
Oh,
jokes.
no doubt, because they everywhere right now.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's making Will look, I'm going to be honest with you. Me and my wife got into a little discussion about it last night that wasn't, it was a heated discussion a little bit. You know what I mean? Because her brother felt one way and, and she didn't agree with what he was saying, and I'm like, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but it was clear that to me, people want to say that he was defending his wife, and dude, if you was defending your wife, you would have been offended when he said it, and then I would have accepted it, But once you laugh and then look at her, then she give you the look, and you go run over here and do that. That was kind of some sucker shit to me.
Yeah, I think that was basically beta male behavior that Jada is in control. Jada sicked Will on Chris.
No doubt.
Jada influenced that, and most of us aren't even having a conversation about Jada. It's all about Will and Chris. Will and Chris.
Right. Well, like I say, to me, like I say, that was the point for me. When you laughed, looked at her, and then you decided that it should be something different. That was some sucker shit, man. You should have felt how you felt from the beginning.
Well, I didn't think the joke was that funny. GI. When are you gonna do GI Jane Part 2 because of the bald head?
Yeah, you remember who was that? Jane Fonda? No, that was
Demi Moore.
Demi Moore. That was Demi Moore, and I mean, it wasn't a bad. I mean, it wasn't a horrible joke. I mean, you know what I mean. As far as wasn't lowballed. It was just a joke, But
yeah, I thought for a minute I didn't even get it. I was like, wait, G.I. Jane, okay.
Yeah, I remember G.I. Jane. I'll be into them old army movies and shit.
I mean, the movie was like almost 20 years ago.
Yeah. I didn't watch it. I just do remember it though. But
yeah, so let's final thoughts on the whole Chris Rock and Will Smith, and we're calling this the Chris Rock and Will Smith thing, but it's really Chris Rock, Will Smith, Jada.
Right. Can't leave that out.
Jada pretty much, in my opinion, she controlled the whole thing.
Well, it's a lot of argument going around town right now as we speak about the situation, because I think females are looking at it like Will was supposed to do what Jada asked him to do, or how she felt at the time, because if Jada would have laughed at the joke or wouldn't have gave Will that look, then it wouldn't have been a problem with Will. That's the whole thing about it. If I'm somewhere with my wife, somebody say something to her that's I feel is offensive, I'm gonna know how I feel immediately.
Yeah.
And
you don't need the look.
I don't need the look. You know what I mean? So, and the look not gonna make me just go get up and basically assault a man, on stage at the Academy Awards, I believe he should have caught him backstage, and handled it back there. That's just what, look, you going to take your ass back out there, you going to apologize to my wife, or I'm going to beat your ass. And let him come back out and apologize. I actually seen that situation happen before.
I think Jada's look was basic. I'm going to translate her look. Her look was, this dude did a joke about me in 2016 and I didn't like it. And I don't like this joke in 2022, Will. What are you going to do?
Well, shit.
Because if you remember, Chris Rock said something about...
he said something about it.
She was boycotting the Oscars because it was so white.
Right.
And Chris Rock was like, wait up, you ain't even invited to the Oscars.
Right.
You ain't even a part of the Oscars.
Yeah.
So I guess she didn't like that joke in 2016. And I think that was the look that she gave Will. Like, this is the second time this guy's going in on me.
No doubt.
What are you going to do, Will?
No doubt. Well, I remember one time we was at a award show, right? And we got floor seats. And me and Lip Dog, we sitting on this side, Buntry and Suge sitting on this side. And at the intermission, the host, the MC, he cracked a joke about Lip Dog dress apparel. Lip Dog went backstage, got on that ass, dude came back out. I want to apologize to Mr. Lip Dog.
Damn.
In front of Magic Johnson, everybody was here. You know what I mean? Lip didn't play that shit, dude. You ain't gonna, I'd never forget that. That was some funny shit.
Hey, but when you go to a comedy club and you sitting in the front row, you have to know what you're signing up for.
Well, my wife tried to tell my son that last night because I was like, it was just a joke. And my wife told my son, she say, you talking that shit about it was just a joke, but what about that time when D-Ray cracked that joke on you? You made him in the bathroom and shit. Them jokes be, they get to you. You got to stay out there front row, man. You know what I mean? And D-Ray cracked the old joke on me. I was on his ass, but that's my boy and shit.
Now, I don't think that we should be offended when comedians crack jokes on us because that's what they do.
No, that's
right. That's what they do. I mean, I've heard comedians say some of the craziest things to people in the front, and that's just what it is. And now we're gonna start attacking comedians because now comedians gonna feel hesitant now to tell certain jokes when they're on stage.
Nah, that ain't how it is though. It's still at this point in my life. You know what I mean? I wasn't a jokester. You know what I mean? I wasn't a bagger. I wasn't one of the dudes in the hood that be bagging and talking shit. That wasn't my get down. You know what I mean? I frequent this spot all the time, or some of these people frequent this spot all the time, and everybody don't play that shit. You know what I mean? Just to be honest, now I know you come to a comedy club, don't sit your ass in the front though. That I did learn that. You don't sit your ass in the front. Sit your ass somewhere else. You know what I mean?
And don't be with the ugly girl either.
Yeah, none of that. You can't do none of that. You know what I mean? But don't get me wrong. Like you said, I do believe comedians have all the right in the world. But sometimes in what you're going through or who the person is, a comedian should be able to gauge a person as well. And be like, this may, I don't see a big smile on him. I don't see it in his eyes that he, you know what I mean? This dude look like he probably just came from the hood or putting some work in. He just coming to have a drink and get out of the city. You know what I mean? They got to be responsible too, shit. Because a lot of times you go, that's what you're doing, getting away from, reality.
So you saying they got to know, they got to sense who could take a joke and who might not be able to take a joke.
No, what I'm saying is in life, period, we should always check the temperature. Mm-hmm. And I think we really do. That's how some of us make it, because you could see some shit finna happen, like you in the bank. You gonna look at some suspicious shit. Somebody might be in there do cashing they check or doing. You gonna see some suspicious shit, you know what I mean? Just because you're aware of and you're paying attention to certain shit, you know what I mean? If a guy walk in the bank with some Nike Cortez, some khakis, and a white T-shirt on, you gonna double look at him. That's just human nature, you know what I mean? That's just how it is. So, not saying judge nobody, but sometimes take into consideration,
Well, you think that Chris Rock and Will Smith, they're going to end up kumbayaing at some point real soon?
I do, but I don't think it's going to be because they really want to like that. I think they're going to do it based on some public shit. I think Will may slide, do something under the table and say, homie, this don't make it right, but we gonna do this the white way. We ain't gonna do this the right way. We gonna do this the white way. You know what I mean? Because they both getting a lot of money out of Hollywood. You know what I mean? And they do rely on these other factors as far as the people behind the scenes that's making shit happen. So they probably telling Will the best way you gonna do is, hey, bam, get with Chris Rock. I'll give a damn if you go sit at the red table with him, maybe apologize or say something, or have a light small argument with no violence or nothing like that. But at the end of the day, making up, for the greater good of this whole Hollywood thing.
When he gave his acceptance speech for winning the Oscar, he apologized, but not to Chris.
No doubt.
He apologized to the Academy, and he apologized to the other nominees. So he even after some time had passed, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, he was still upset with Chris. He didn't say, I want to apologize to Chris Rock. I shouldn't have did that.
Well, this is the thing about it. Chris Rock was a repeat offender. You got priors for talking shit about my wife. You know what I mean? So I do take that into consideration.
But they were just regular jokes. They weren't over the top jokes.
Go tell some jokes about these other people though. You know what I mean? Get off my wife. You know what I mean? Get off my situation. Don't bring, even though before he made that joke, he was talking to a white couple saying, because I think the husband and wife were nominated for Academy, both of them.
Yeah.
So they were saying that's not going to go over if he win. You know what I mean? You're going to have hard times at home. So y'all probably would hope we'll win. So he was talking and doing that, but at the same time, you got priors for talking shit about Jada. We'll say, I'm going to put a stop to this shit today.
Thanks for watching this video clip of Streets and Scholars podcast with Alex Alonso and FG. If you want to listen to the entire episode, go to your favorite podcast platform and type in Streets and Scholars. But we're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Spotify. And thanks for listening to another episode of Streets and Scholars.